People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People of Seven on Blue Sky and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located Purple Butterfly soaps.myshopify.com, my blog Purple Butterfly people.blogspot.com. And I have my hair in yarn twists, as you can tell. And I've gotten questions on how I did that and how it matches so perfectly with my hair. But they were assuming that I braided my hair or human hair that was dyed to match. Basically, my hair is Iro number 70, and I found a yarn that is neon pink, which is really close to Iro number 70. Iro also makes a neon pink yarn, so if that didn't work out, I would have just dyed my roots to match. So, yeah. But in the meantime, this is how they look. And someone wanted to know how I do it. So I'm going to walk you through by taking a loose one braid and putting it back in so you can see exactly what I do. But in the meantime, it's a really versatile style. I could put it in a ponytail, I could wear it back, I can part it. I have a part here, and I have a straight part here, and I have a straight part here. And I could wear it in a ponytail here or whatever. So I'm going to take that a loose. Well, actually, let's do this one because it's thicker. Okay. Let's get all this out the way. Get myself a little clip so that way it's secure out the way. Now, the thing about yarn twists, a lot of people do yarn twists by using worsted weight yarn and like 7 or 8 strands of the yarn. That can be heavy and bulky. This is bulky weight, and I only use 3 strands per braid because since it's bulky, it's thicker, and then I parted my hair in a way that will make sense with the thicker. So let's get this rubber band off, and I'll show you exactly what I did. Okay. Now I'm just going to unravel it. The fun part about this is when my hair grows out, like if I have like 2 inches of roots or whatever, I could just redo this the way I'm finna show you and reinstall them. The only time you run into an issue is when you get to the natural hair, which is right there. Okay. A lot of people will put yarn twist or yarn braids in their hair and then wet the hair. I do it slightly different. I wet the hair as I go. Okay, now I am about to sneeze. Ugh. That's annoying. Let me get this separated to the way it needs to be separated. See, I have 3 strands of bulky hair. Well, bulky yarn. So I don't need to have multiple strands of worsted weight. This is bulky weight. Now, the first thing I do, that's my hair. Before I did it, I, retouched my roots. But I'm just going to wet the hair. going to gather the hair into a single twist, so that way I get all those little extra strands. I'm going to take the yarn, 3 strands here, my natural hair there, and start a braid. 1 or 2 strands. Then I'm going to drop one of the strands and grab it, and then drop one of the strands and grab it. So now I have 3 strands here, well, 2 strands here, 2 strands here, 2 strands here, and then I just braid like normal. And because the hair is wet, it is smoothing into the yarn instead of sticking out when it ends, because it's wet. And see, there it is. There's the end. Spray that with some water, smooth it into the braid, and continue. Now, 2 things. The little teeny piece that stuck out, I could either integrate in, like weaving it, or I could just take some scissors and trim that little piece off, which is like a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch, so basically it'd be like a trim, and then I just continue on down. Now when I get to the end, I'll stop here just so you can see. Take one of the strands, wrap it around the braid. Well, let's go up higher so that way you could get a good view. Take one of the strands, wrap it around the braid, tuck it in, and that makes a knot. And then you could trim it or use a rubber band or hair jewelry. But since I already had this in a rubber band, I'm just going to go ahead and take that loose. And get back to where I was. That strand was over here. Finish braiding down. To the end. Rubber band it. And then I have this little piece of hair jewelry. It is literally a little crimp. Put that over the end. Wind it around. Squeeze it into place. And I could either leave like that or I could trim the end, but that's how I did that. So, yeah. Now, normally when I finish yarn braiding, I either take the time to spray it, I also do the spraying with plain water twice a day to moisturize my scalp, along with going over it with some oil. That feels good. But the pink spray bottle has a lot of body setting lotion along with 2 parts water. So then when I put my scarf on, it kind of holds all those little stray ends in, so that way all the hair, you can't see where the natural hair is compared to the yarn, so that gives a natural look. Works well when you have colors that match. Most people that you do yarn braids are using black yarn or chestnut brown yarn or something that matches their hair. Obviously, that would not work for me because I have pink hair. So I found some pink yarn. The original yarn, because a lot of people will get Brazil wool and they assume it's wool. But Brazil wool is actually 100% acrylic. It has the texture of hair, so it looks like hair. But the problem is when I ordered pink, this is the only shade of pink they had. That does not work for me because I'm not a pastel pink girl. I'm a bright pink girl. So that's when I got this yarn. This is Lion Brand's bulky acrylic. That's another thing. If you do yarn braids, be aware of what kind of fabric you're using. Wool will felt and lock in your hair. And if you're going for locks and you don't mind it locking in your hair as an extension or permanent, that's fine. Cotton will dry out your hair. Acrylic, where you spray it with a moisturizer or whatever, holds in that moisture because technically it's plastic. So basically it's the same as putting a conditioner on your hair and then putting a plastic cap on to hold in the moisture. Well, basically that's doing the same thing with each individual braid. So basically you only have to moisturize every 3 days to once a week, the same way you would with your natural hair. There's also bamboo and silk. Silk will really look natural and it really protects your hair because half the hair bodies are made of silk. There's a reason for that. Bamboo basically is like a cross between cotton and acrylic. So it does have some moisturizing properties, but by the same token, it can dry your stuff out depending on what percentage of bamboo you have. And a lot of the bamboos in America says bamboo cotton, which means it's 50% cotton and 50% bamboo, which kind of defeats the purpose of having something protective in your hair as a protective style. So, yeah. And then the flip side of that is 100% bamboo is expensive. Silk yarn is expensive. Acrylic yarn, I think I paid $4 for the skin. I used 2 skins exactly. That's like right here. These 4 twists are thicker than all the other twists. You know, the parts. Because that's where I ran out of yarn. So I made sure that I used the amount of yarn that I had with the amount of hair that I had left over. Or I could just reach over there and grabbed another skein, but then when I go to knit something with that yarn, it's going to be a little short because I'm using part of, you know what I mean. Well, anybody that knits a crochet knows exactly what I mean. You don't want to be short. So basically, since I was running out, I just adjusted my parts. So yeah, and that's how I do yarn twists. And as you could tell, it matches. It's a good style for me. It's a throwback style. Somebody said, "Oh, yarn braids are new again." I'm going, new again? They never left. I did yarn braids as a teenager. I'm over 60, and I still do yarn braids. When I am at an awkward length, like right now, my hair stops right about here. And in the back, because of that not buzz cut, medium fade, it stops right about there. And it's at an awkward length. It's like right at my shoulder, so that way when I wear certain clothes or whatever, it's just literally getting that free haircut from the fabric snatching it. So I figure I'll just put in yarn braids, which is longer than my hair, so that way my hair has a chance to grow without being impeded by the fabric, especially since this is winter time. We just had snowmageddon. This is flannel. I've been wearing flannel, wool, and cotton. For natural hair, that's like saying free haircut because it's going to snatch. And especially wool, it will literally just grab the material, so then you have little pieces of hair on your fabric. Whereas this keeps the hair from getting snatched. It looks stylish. I could wear it for 3 months, and by that time, my hair will be an inch and a half longer because my hair grows a half an inch a month. And then I'll just reinstall it and continue until my hair is the length I want. Or until I get bored with it because, variety, change. But yeah, I can put it up in an updo, I could put it in a ponytail, or I could just let it hang. So, yeah. And I had a ponytail holder. Don't know what I did with it. So we'll go with the clamp. And that's how I did that. Now, also, if you do yarn braids, get your favorite oil or mixture or blend or whatever. Put it in a container like this. That way you can oil your scalp without having to do parts. You just literally put the little container in there. Also get another one of those. Put this much shampoo to this much water. Shake it up. Shampoo your scalp. Then let it, let the suds go down the length of the hair. And then after you shampoo your scalp, jump in the shower, rinse everything off, wash your body, whatever, and then give yourself 2 or 3 hours for this to dry. I usually put a towel over my shoulder so that way it could absorb the water. Squeeze as much of the water as you want out, and then, put the towel there. So that way by the time it's time to go to bed, your hair's dry, you're clean, and on to the next day. That's the secret to protective yarn braids. This has been People7 on Blue Sky YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps are located PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com, my blog PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that like button. Bye now.